Hello and welcome to today's video and to my channel. I firstly would like to apologize about my last video. It was very short. I know some of you commented on it, but since beginning of May, I've been quite busy at work. I've mentioned it before. I'm really busy, and yeah, my brain is occupied by a lot of things, and not all of them are work related. But yeah, I had quite a week. So I think I alluded to it a couple of months ago. I'm in a process of fixing a chimney stack on my house. Unfortunately, the chimney stack is a shared boundary with the adjoined neighbour, and the adjoined neighbour is a landlord that has the property as basically a money-making enterprise. So he is quite unwilling to spend any money on the chimney to take it down and rebuild it to its original glory. I started this process in January, on January 2nd, actually. I called the estate agent that is responsible for the tenancy of my next door neighbors, and they basically said, yes, we will take it on with the landlord, and we will contact you once we know more. Nothing happened for a month, so I called them again, and they basically said again, it's just a matter of quotes. We have had one quote so far, so we are looking for another one because it's quite expensive. So, okay, month passed, so we're now in the beginning of March. I called them again. They had the same excuse, saying they're still waiting for second quote. So I called them again at the end of March, and they said absolutely the same thing. So I basically said, this is just not acceptable. Obviously, I've seen the workmen coming and having a look, so this is just an excuse. I'm very amicable. I've been amicable since the beginning. I'm really happy to work with the landlord. Can we just move forward, and can you pass this frustration on to your client? But nothing happened. So at the end of April, I basically searched the internet and come up with what we should actually do in this situation. And that's basically, I need to get my own quote, which I did from a builder that I've worked with before. And they gave me absolutely normal quote for taking down the old chimney stack to the roof level, disposing of the materials, erecting new chimney stack to the original spec, and basically providing scaffolding and taking it down. Absolutely normal quote. If you Google how much this would probably cost, you will come up with that similar price point. So I was quite happy, and I wrote party wall notice according to the Party Wall Act from 1996 that basically announces my desire to fix this shared boundary, how much it will cost, that it's a cost of 50-50 because we both share obviously the internal structure of the chimney, and they have now 2 weeks, 14 days to respond. Either to consent and we can start work, or dissent, or dissent or ignore. If they dissent or ignore, we will need to instruct a surveyor. Either shared one or one each. So I obviously didn't know the client's even name, address, none of that, because the estate agent just dealt with it, even though they have no right to do so. They told me that they only deal with the tenancy and they do not do the repairs or deal with the repairs. So they almost created this kind of third-party buffer between me and the landlord without any actual legal need for them to represent the landlord in this situation. So I literally spent £7 of my own money to get a land registry report on the building that states the actual landlord's name and the address, So I printed all of these documents out and I literally posted through their own letterbox. They live in a nearby village. I've obviously collected a lot of information about them since then, because obviously once you know who they are, you know a lot about them. And voila, next day, first thing in the morning, I get a call from the estate agent, and they basically wanted to know why I did that. Why is my reasoning behind the rebuild? Because they got only a quote for dropping chimney stack, and they want to drop it by 3/4. That's basically leaving a stump, which I told them I'm not interested in, because I didn't tell them why, but for aesthetic reasons, but also for the fact that I'm using my chimney. And I think I told them legally it has to have a certain height from the ridge of the roof. And also, I've also discovered that both of our properties are in a conservation area of my town. So we can't actually drop the chimney stack or alter it significantly without the knowledge of the town. So we would probably need a town's planning permission to do so. So I told him all of this. Obviously, the estate agent started being quite unpleasant, started using his knowledge, saying that he is a chartered surveyor, which he is, and it will become quite expensive if we go through the surveyor route, and obviously a price is of the essence. I told him many times it's not the case for me. I am not motivated by price. I'm motivated by the job being done to a good standard, and to the fact that I just want a decent chimney stack, because it is the stack that you can see from the street. So a curb appeal is obviously a thing. Plus I'm using my chimney, plus we are in conservation area. So I'm not interested in their very cheap solution. By the way, the solution of taking it down, the cost was £800, and the landlord himself deemed this too expensive. If you know anything about the UK, £800 for a job that is done on a roof of any kind is obviously a cowboy quote. That doesn't obviously include a scaffold. It's probably a one-man band going up our roof on a ladder or two, just taking rows and rows and rows of brick. No idea how they can also dispose of the brick in that quote price and do a decent job. So it's already a red flag that that is the quote that they think they want to go with, plus for a job that is not allowed by the town, plus they deem it already expensive. So yeah, I am quite in, I obviously told them that I send them other documentation after the call. That was all yesterday, so I'm quite riled up, as you can see. I sent them an email saying, basically, this is what we were all talking about. This is all my reasoning, and basically asking them to do not communicate with me outside of writing. So I want everything in the future in writing, either by post or by mail. And honestly, I don't really want to speak to the estate agent ever again. So if they contact me in the future, I might basically refuse to speak to them unless they will represent, unless the owner will talk to me. The only issue I have, which I'm a bit worried about, and I would love your opinions on it, the owner, the landlord, is a partner in that estate agency. So basically he's using them as a crutch. And on top of that, like I said, it's a man in his 70s, but he's also himself a chartered surveyor. So I'm really worried that through his connections in this town, he will push for a surveyor that he knows and that is, buddy on some kind of dodgy agreement with him to basically give us a ward, meaning a report that we need to follow that will lean to the landlord's wishes. Obviously, if you Google online, chartered surveyors should be very impartial, should be very kind of independent, but if you are a well-known estate agency and you're a chartered surveyor that's been doing this job for 4 decades, there is no way you don't know other chartered surveyors in the area. We're not a big place, so I'm really worried that if we go through the surveyor route, it will still not be impartial and it will still not be very fair towards me. So I'm looking into finding, we still have time. I still have a good 10 days for the neighbor to come to a solution outside of the surveyor route. But if we get to it, I really want to find my own. They can share, someone who doesn't know the landlord, basically, they can share that surveyor with me. So I will appoint someone and say to the landlord, if you want to share the cost, fine, but it will be my choice. I will not go with anything they choose. And if they refuse to go with mine, we will go basically with 2 independent surveyors, which obviously increases the cost significantly. And they will basically blame me, and they will label me problematic. But as a woman, I am very aware that I need to stand my ground. I can't let them just push me around and bully me into a situation that will be to a disadvantage of mine. I've definitely hardened up since my husband died, so I am not very willing for the landlord to win and just do some dodgy job because it protects his bottom line. This is my home. This is not a cash cow property. And I want to one day, obviously, move away and sell this house. So I really want to do good by this house and restore it and make it attractive for anyone in the future. But yeah, there's a lot going on in my brain again, and work is intense, and I'm now going through this kind of semi-litigation, hopefully not getting into litigation case. I'm really very much aware that it's just me and there's no one to share this issue with, and I need to be strong and I need to kind of protect my interests as much as I can without others bullying me into a very unfortunate situation. But yeah, if you have any constructive criticism, feedback, advice, please let me know in the comments. But hopefully other clips will be more fun and happy. sorry. I just received an email from the landlord saying that they consent to all of this work. It will cost us a lot of money. But it's a massive win for me after stressing the fact that, you know, we're in a conservation area and we would need planning permission, and that I'm using the chimney and just not going through the legal route. It's just a massive win for this little Eastern European lady that has struggled in the past few months to just keep it together. And, you know, it's such a win, and you're the first one that I'm telling to, because I try to call my parents, I try to call my friends, but it is Friday, just 12:30 in the afternoon, so no one's around, everyone's at work or just doing things, so I have no one to tell, no one to celebrate with, so it's such a massive win for me and for the house and for the restoration of what once been. And I just feel like a custodian of this house. It's not my forever house, but it doesn't mean that I want to do something really awful to it. I just want it to survive more than 130 years it's been here. So yeah, I'm so surprised that they said yes, and that it's a massive win for me. Didn't expect it. Was really riled up to, you know, gather the troops and go to a battle. So yeah. It is Monday morning, and before I go back to work, I just wanted to recap my weekend. So I did a really long walk with my friend. We took our boys out, and it was lovely. The weather was not hot anymore. It was kind of a pleasant, and yeah, the boys had absolute blast. And then we came to mine to have a coffee and something sweet. Yeah, it was lovely. You just need sometimes a little bit of chinwag about everything and anything and nothing in the end. But yeah, on Saturday I went to see Devil's Wear Prada, like probably every woman aged 25 plus. It was really good. I wasn't disappointed at all. It was exactly almost what I expected. Light-hearted film that was a bit formulaic, following the same concept like the last one. There was a plot. I'm not saying that was very much of a meaningful plot, but it kept me entertained. I wasn't bored, and the fashion was fabulous. So overall, really good. Recommend. If you've seen the first one and you enjoyed it, you'll probably enjoy this one as well. But now I have pretty much half an hour before I need to log in to my laptop, and we start a new financial year. We actually started it last week, but it's officially start of the new financial year, stepping officially into my new role. And it's going to get busy. So I'll try to film as much as I can, but I also know that these videos are not really watched much anymore. So if I need to kind of change the schedule, or if I need to ever kind of skip a video because it's either boring or I need to travel or do something, I'll always let you know in that kind of community section and give you a heads up. But yeah, I will try to film a bit more like snippets throughout my day, but it will be scattered because yeah, it will be full on few months. Lastly, I wanted to tell you that I do have to go to the conference that I spoke to you about a couple of weeks ago. So I am going to the US in early June. So I'll try to film as much as I can, but obviously it is a lot of internal and external. It's a lot of kind of confidential information there. So I'll just film bits and bobs here and there, but obviously it's not something that I'm doing for fun. I wanted to let you know that yes, I'm going, and yes, I will be traveling more this year. So hopefully I will be able to share at least something with you. But for now, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I will post another one next Saturday, and a few of you asked me if I could move the timing back to Saturday morning, and I will, because I've noticed that since I moved it to Saturday afternoon, the viewers numbers have dropped. So I'll move it back to Saturday morning. And please do let me know in the comments what topics or what things you would like to see from me. It would probably help me a little bit in the upcoming months, because I will know what you want to see, what you want to hear, and also give me a little bit more structure when there is none and I'm running around like a headless chicken because of my workload. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!